Earlier this afternoon, roughly an hour before his usual bedtime, Biden held a press conference marking the first year of his presidency. It was only his 10th since taking office, fewer than any of the 5 presidents before him. He talked about COVID, the economy, voting rights stuff. But Joe, remember how you thought not that many people would show up to vote in the middle of a pandemic?
Remember how we thought not that many people were going to show up to vote in the middle of a pandemic? We had the highest voter turnout in the history of the United States of America. Well, I think if, in fact, no matter how hard they make it for minorities to vote, I think you're going to see them willing to stand in line and defy the attempt to keep them from being able to vote.
So he just contradicted himself. Everybody voted, but there was voting suppression. Where? But for anyone listening to that voting rights speech, did he say that anyone was going to be a George Wallace or a Bull Connor? Or did he talk about a decision in history?
Anybody who listened to the speech, I did not say that there were going to be a George Wallace or a Bull Connor. I said we're going to have a decision in history that is going to be marked just like it was then. You either voted on the side that didn't make you George Wallace or didn't make you Bull Connor. But if you did not vote for the Voting Rights Act back then, you were voting with those who agreed with Connor. If you notice, I haven't attacked anybody publicly.
I guess we're the ones who are hard of hearing. You said, which side are they on, Mr. President? But you weren't comparing. Joe snapped when someone else pressed him on that speech. But should we go back and read what he said?
No, I didn't say that. Look what I said. Go back and read what I said. And tell me if you think I called anyone who voted on the side of the position taken by Bull Connor that they were Bull Connor. And that is an interesting reading of English. I assume you got into journalism because you like to write.
Someone needs his mush. Finally, why are reporters so obsessed with Russia?
Your top foreign policy advisors have warned that Russia is now ready to attack Ukraine. Why should the threat of new sanctions give him pause?
About Russia and Ukraine.
Standing up to Russia.
You said that Russia would be held accountable.
Very quickly on Russia, have you determined whether President Putin plans to invade or move into Ukraine?
All right, Kat, Russia, it's still going on. Not a frickin' word about crime, not a frickin' word about the border. And all these reporters cared about was the voting bill and Russia, the two least important things for almost 99.9% of Americans.
Yeah, I agree, because when it started to be about Russia, I stopped listening. I'm sorry, I was really like, ugh.
Yeah.
I get it, like Putin's
Yeah.
I totally. But it was kind of tough to watch, honestly. Mm-hmm. And then his argument about like the Bull Connor thing, he's like, no. You guys seem to think I was literally saying that these people literally are Bull Connor.
Yes. Yeah.
No. He's not around. I wasn't saying that he's literally like, you're mistaken. How dumb are you? I was like, no, like that's not what happened. And you know it's bad because he kept saying, how much longer am I gonna do this?
Yeah.
How much longer? And that happened, I did that the one and only time I went to a Soul Cycle class, and that's not because it was going well. I couldn't follow the choreography, so then I hate myself. Like, I don't have enough rhythm for Soul Cycle. Like, that's pretty bad. So it was really, was not good. It was not good, I might say.
That's two swear words from the little lady over there.
Did I swear before?
Baker,
yeah, you did.
Baker, what were your impressions of it? And do you have any specific gripes?
Yeah, I do. I think there were two things that were incredibly egregious here that he did. One was this idea that, again, if you're not with the Voting Rights Act, and I think that's a completely misnamed piece of legislation, that you are essentially racist. That is what he's saying.
Yeah.
And we all know it, no matter how he tries to spin this. It's just awful messaging, but I think he firmly believes it for whatever reason. The other thing is the idea that somehow, if you don't get this passed, the Voting Rights Act, you can call into question the legitimacy of the next election.
A huge part.
Because we were enormous.
Anytime you questioned anything, that was considered anti-democratic.
Right.
And the president went there.
He's done this now, and I think again, I'd like to think of something funny to say. I'm going to leave that to Jamie, who, by the way, is going to be in Boise next week doing a show. Greg. And but I think I can't do it because as I was watching this press conference and he did that, it was very depressing.
You know what was just another point on this whole unity thing, how he praised Mitt Romney. I think he said that he's a straight guy. Well, he has a lot of kids. But this was the same person that Biden said was going to put blacks back in chains.
He did.
So this is what happens.
Mitt Romney said the other day that he hasn't talked to anybody from the White House since December.
Yeah, but the thing,
it's disingenuous,
yes.
a lot of this.
Yeah.
I'm a news guy. I do news.
Yeah.
I bring you news. Okay?
Yes,
a couple
yes.
of things here. The turnout in this last election on a percentage basis was higher than we've seen in 120 years.
Right.
And they went out and did polling. They found 94% of Americans said they were satisfied because it was easy for them to vote.
Right.
So where's that argument coming from? I wrote down, may I?
Yes, absolutely.
I wrote down 5 things.
5?
This is not the 5, Bill.
I only got 2.
It's going to go quickly.
right.
His one failure was not getting Republicans into the game and making things better in this country. Name me one thing they're for, where they're not in favor of being called blue-collar
Yes.
and racist. I have not overpromised at all. I've probably outperformed.
I love that.
Tell that to the progressives. Omicron is not a cause for panic. Tell that to the folks who are going to get the therapeutics or testing kits. Russia and Ukraine, I do think it's a significant story. I think we do need to pay attention to it. He said a minor incursion. I don't know what that means.
Yes,
It's
neither did
one
he.
thing if it's a minor incursion.
Right.
I mean, Vladimir Putin may have just gotten the green light today, and we're going to look back at this moment and think that was not good for the world.
Right.
Inflation, everything to do with the supply chain.
Yeah.
No mention of the $2 trillion that Congress passed back in March, and nothing to do with more printing of money. In summary, I thought this went as expected. He did not move the ball. There was very little suggestion that he was up for changing over the coming year before midterms, other than one thing. He said he's going to get out there and meet and talk with the people.
Yeah, that's true. I'm scared of that.
Damn, this is like being on Meet the Press.
Yeah, I was feeling, you know what? I was feeling pretty sophisticated there for a while, but then I remembered you were here. Joe, do you have 5 things? Anything? Do you have 5 anythings in your life?
Me?
You own 5 things.
I had five quick things. The first one just says, "You're doing a great job. Keep going." These are just things to make me feel better that I read throughout the show.
That's good. That's good.
Dude, Biden's speaking voice combined with his content is perfect for a speaker if your goal is to have everyone fall asleep and then you just quietly tiptoe out of the room.
Right.
I was like falling asleep during most of it. I wish there was some way when he gets all, you're a journalist, I wish when he did that, there was a green screen behind him and it could look like he was in a house and the press was on the lawn.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was just yelling at everyone.
Yes.
I think that would be amazing. I don't know. I'm just amazed that they were able to get that wax figure there so quickly.
Yeah. Up next, Democrats' COVID solution means trampling the Constitution.